Welcome to my presentation. Today my topic is Li Gao, an accomplished master and his distinguished contribution to Chinese medicine. So there's three parts in my presentation. The first part is the background of Li Gao, and the second part is Li Gao's thought and work demonstrating his contribution to the development of the TCM. And the third part is the influence of Li Gao work on development of TCM and the present days Chinese medicine. So the background of Li Gao, Master Li Gao is one of the foremost important Chinese medical scholar during the Jin and Yuan dynasty. He lived in late 12th century and early 13th century. And he's the founder of the school of Butu Pai, which is replenishing the Earth Faith school. He had contributed abundance of valuable medical work during his 50 years practice in which the three most important masterpieces are 脾胃论 and 内外伤辩惑论 and 兰氏秘禅. So the first two books record his most important theory and funding. The third one is his clinical practice. So first, the contribution to TCM. I think the most important one is he raised the theory of the internal imbalance of the body due to the weakness of the spleen and the stomach. He emphasizes that these two organs are as important as the pivot of all other organs, whose functions are determined by them. So the two organs are responsible for absorbing and transforming nutrients to keep producing prenatal qi, which is the basic fuel for the whole body metabolism daily. And many chronic disorders are caused by the deficiency of postnatal qi, supported by these organs. And secondly, Li Gao realized so the second contribution is the differentiation of the causes of the internal and external damage. In his time, he realized many diseases caused by internal damage due to the people suffering from poverty, farming, loss of home, as a result of many years war between the Song and Jin and Yuan countries. He summarized that the three main etiology factors causing internal damage or spleen and stomach dysfunction are inappropriate diet style, excessive exertion, excessive emotion. So this based on his years of practice. And the third contribution is the concept of the yin fi he raised. If he said he found if the stomach and spleen are unable to function well, the food and drink taken into the body would become dampness, turbid fluid, or phlegm rather than postnatal qi, nutrient, and they can sink into the lower jaw, in which heat is generated due to the fermentation effect. Also, the heat can turn into the yin fire, which would raise to upper jaw and manifest to fever, irritability, dry mouth, such as this kind of symptom. So he concluded that the yin file is due to deficiency of postnatal qi as a result of dysfunction of spleen and stomach. So, and he further explained the yin file can consume the postnatal qi and make it weaker and weaker. This based on the hyperactive fire consuming qi from the Huangdi Neijing. So the second part, the third part is the influence to the development of the TCM and the present days of Chinese medicine. Look, in his time, another master, Zhu Danxi, he appraised that Master Li as important as Zhang Zhongjing, because Zhang Zhongjing solved the problem for the external damage, and whilst Master Li provided the details and for the internal damage in his book. Secondly, he created numerous valuable formulas based on pattern discrimination and his theory, such as 补中益气汤、生阳益胃汤、半夏白术天麻汤、当归补血汤. These are very classic formula, has been used until today. Take example of 补中益气汤. It's one of the most famous formula. It works on strengthening spleen and stomach and yang, strengthen the spleen and the spleen yang, and replenish the postnatal qi for qi collapse. So it's very effectively treating the fatigue and weakness syndrome, fever, and irritability caused by a weak middle jaw. And nowadays, 补中益气汤 used for treating organ collapse, such as a rectal and stomach prolapse. And apart from those valuable formula, Master Li also demonstrates a way of thinking of quantity and coordination of different herbs when creating a formula to us, instead of just a rigid formula for a certain diseases. Still take this example of 补中益气汤, in which Shenma and Huang Qi, and he used to help slowly raising yang qi on only a small quantity, like 3 grams he used only, rather than too much, because they can, these two herbs can not only lead to yang qi overly dispersing and consuming, but also cause yin fire raising. So he used only very small amount to let them slowly raising the yang qi. This is a good example. He also laid a foundation stone for Master Ye Tianshi's in stomach yin concept. He found dampness can enrich and nurture the stomach. Stomach efficiency can be enriched and nourished by damp substance. Based on this theory, Zhu Danxi modified Master Li's formula by adding a herb nourishing and enriching stomach yin, so that the drying and acrid herb were unable to harm the stomach yin. So Master Ye Tianshi, he is one of the most important practitioners in Qing Dynasty. After probably 700 years after Master Li, he created the classic method of nourish stomach in by using a sweet, neutral, cool herb. So based on Master Li's opinions. Master Li is also an outstanding acupuncture. He followed the classic acupuncture from Huangdi Neijing and Nanjing. His skill are well documented in two masterpieces, acupuncture masterpieces, Zhenjiu Dachen and Zhenjiu Juying. He treated, he documented his skill and acupuncture skill and theory in his most important book in Pi Wei Luan. For example, he said yin diseases treat through yang, and the yang diseases treat through yin. And he also told us how to use a 5 shu and back shu or front mu to treat external and internal damage by implementing his spleen and stomach theory, and it is discussed the relationship between acupuncture and herb medicine. Nowadays, the morbidity and the prevalence of the external damage has been significantly reduced because of advanced medicine living condition. However, the internal damage caused by overabundant food and drink intake, irregular and unhealthy lifestyle, mental and emotional issues from the chaos of the modern living style has been increasingly seen and cause many chronic function disorder in materially advanced country. So Master Li's theory in this regard may help explain the causation and progress of many chronic diseases and provide the solution from the different angle. So this is the presentation about Master Li.